It's 2025. We're chronically online, all systems nominal. Except for now, we're speeding up even further into fully automated techno-utopian capitalism. It's actually been so little time since we all started to AI. ChatGPT hit 100 million monthly active users only in January 2023.
We're bringing AI to the I so you can AI. You asked, we AI'd. The AI is going to AI. An AI for an AI.
Not enough distance for a decent non-delusional analysis. Instead, we'll capture the confusion. This podcast is brought to you by the Noji app, but no cheesy sales in here, because we really need to talk about AI. We all have intellectual ambitions here while suffering from the ADHD epidemic and trying to fit into the hustle economy. And all students have tried AI at this point. But a slightly uncomfortable question is arising, if we even have time to pause and think between deadlines. Is the question of genuine education versus AI. Of course, ChatGPT is messy, weird, and often wrong. But so was the internet when it started. AI is getting better and better when it comes to academic tasks, and professors cannot always clock it. Or as Slavoj Žižek ironically suggested, my students bring me their essays, which has been written by AI, and I plug it into my grading AI, and we are free. Whatever that was, I'm sorry. But if you're paying for education thousands of dollars, or you earned a spot at uni the hard way, then does AI bring any satisfaction from education? It's one thing for AI to serve the role of an enhanced search engine, but another when it starts stepping onto the territory of things we take pride in: writing, reasoning, or artistic expression. It feels like AI will never do a good enough job for you when it comes to a major you chose for a reason, a subject that drives your curiosity, or a professor you want academic validation from. Sure, you can master the art of prompting, feed your writing style samples, or put in some solid prep work, but then it'll take your raw, beautiful ideas and turn them into standardized, soulless bullshit. Well, perhaps this is what academia does to us anyway. And then AI could be a hilarious way to cope with all the bureaucracy of educational institutions. The situation is quickly turning into a big meta meme. Along with AI, we now have AI detection tools, as well as tools for masking the use of AI. And after all, DeepSeek is showing up to steal the job of ChatGPT the way it was intended to steal our jobs. Or are we even stepping into a new geopolitical tension escalation? Will the new Caribbean crisis take the form of online fights between AI models? In his 2015 book, Homo Deus, the historian Yuval Harari predicted that the most likely outcome of AI would be a radical division within human society, the one that is much stronger than the class divide. Techno-suspense is real, but so is corporate lobby or the real obsession of people with AI everything. Are we speeding up into total collapse or evolving? To deepen the confusion, we asked a good friend of the Noji app, Greek new media artist and AI researcher Anastas Anastas, to share his critical stance on AI.
So, it seems like creative applications of AI are all about converting intelligence into bureaucracy. What if AI's artistic inability to be original and creative, to transcend its own massive bullshit generator networks, is an exceptional signifier by itself, marking the limits of human creativity? What if ChatGPT's answer reveal the limits of human ingenuity in applying critical thought when Googling? What if that limit becomes a hard one regarding our ability to combine complexities? What if AI expands the filter problem of internet search to the point where there is no possibility of transcendence? We are fanatically trying to convince people that an extremely clever search engine can produce creative content, that some eclectic remixing of information is the only attribute of creativity. AI is a cheap trick to create massive quantities of content. It's like the Library of Babel in that Borges story containing all possible combinations of letters and ideas, where almost every book is a boring collection of gibberish. But at least AI multiplies boredom to a point where we feel an internal explosive pressure to become human again. Using AI to write trivial papers and pass exams is proof that the exams per se are a scam process that rewards unoriginal mimicry. AI's extreme sociopath associative memory with zero cognitive abilities can pass exams, and that says a lot about the quality of creative critical thinking required by those exams. AI created images and text normalized fakes, completely obliterating the possibility of deeper understanding. Just like the promise of freedom on the internet, it all became about control, cheap content, misinformation, and increasing noise to suppress any original signals. AI increases the background noise to flatten the curve of understanding and curates the experience of zombie capitalism, the empty deserts of the real and the virtual. A massive production of images and text wants to fill our crave for instant gratification, feed us cheap drops of dopamine to oversaturate our addictions. So, do you think that AI is a recent thing? No, AI has existed for thousands and thousands of years. It is what we call culture, an outsourcing of human cognitive abilities to complex external network structures that are way more resilient than any individual mind. AI's first meaningful sentence was the first fictional story narrated under a starry night, around the first fire ever lighted by our distant ancestors.
Jokes and fantasies aside, how to make it all work? How to taste those shiny plastic fruits of the so-called AI revolution while remaining true to our ethical, intellectual, or artistic values?
Please stop showing me AI art. It's so ugly. I'm serious. I don't want to see it anymore. All of it looks like dog shit. There's already so many horrors in this world. I don't want to see these butt ugly images.
How about we ask ChatGPT in its own defense?
AI isn't just changing your lives, it's upgrading them. It's automating the boring, streamlining the complex, and giving you superpowers you didn't even know you needed. You're not just working faster, you're thinking bigger, learning smarter, and creating at a whole new level. Studying? AI makes it effortless. Creating? AI is your co-pilot. Need ideas, organization? Or just a smarter way to get things done? AI has your back. It's not replacing human intelligence. It's enhancing it, amplifying your potential in ways that were impossible just a few years ago. This isn't the future. It's happening now. The only question is, how will you use it?
Sounds about right, as always. Confident and playful, yet so normie tone of voice. Typical problems with metaphors and, AI is not always poetically correct, but overly politically correct. And it can also sound dead, or deadly boring. Have you heard of the dead internet theory? It suggests that the internet we're using today is mostly fake, like 90% of the content is generated by bots, not real people. According to this theory, the real organic web died a few years ago, and what's left is lifeless, algorithm-driven wasteland. The dead internet theory was floating around before ChatGPT became mainstream, but AI was definitely part of the conversation. It's basically about how the internet feels less human and more automated every day. Creepy, sad, true. The internet is a wild place, but the vibe we bring to the function still matters. So, how to stay human? First off, we obviously get rid of romantic projections and see AI as a tool, not a magic button for every solution. For students, writers, and creatives, AI might actually become a toxic habit. For example, when you scroll instead of doing things, and then scrambling to make something half decent with AI. Well, here, some discipline is needed. It's time to own who we are and what we are actually good at, with no settling for less. Maybe, just maybe, we'll make the internet human again. Let's use our emotional power as humans and keep freaking out about what's going on. This state will drive new research, new creative forms, and new level of hunger for knowledge. As told in the very beginning, we have more questions than answers. And there are times when asking the right questions is the last unbiased thing to do in analyzing such hyper objects as AI. And when it comes to knowledge, Noji is always there for you. We use AI only to speed up the prep work of turning your lecture notes into flashcards, but you can always meditate for hours creating perfect decks of flashcards sorted by topics and subjects. But the main part, of course, is the learning part. Noji turns microlearning into meaningful experience with active recall and spaced repetition. It's the most science-baked way to remember anything, like forever. And as we like to say, to create is to remember. To remember is to learn with Noji. So make sure you try the app, follow us on social media, and stay tuned for the next episodes.